problem is not goal setting itself, it's the types of goals being made. Hi, I'm Ryan and welcome back to my channel. As the new year approaches, many people are already thinking about goals they want to accomplish in 2024. However, so many people don't stick with their New Year's resolutions and give up by January or February. I don't want that to be you this year. Today, I want to help you think about your goals differently and set better goals so that you are successful. So there are 5 things that we're going to talk about today. The first one that I want you to think about when setting your goals for the new year is coming up with a realistic goal. I want you to think of something that's obtainable in the near-ish future. I think that oftentimes a lot of people fail at their goals because they come up with a not realistic goal at all. They kind of have this big, overwhelming, daunting goal and that's their goal. However, set something that's a little bit smaller, more realistic, something that you can accomplish soon and then go from there. If someone sets a really large goal, their ultimate end goal, I feel like that's really overwhelming to begin with, and I'd rather have someone start with a smaller realistic goal and then grow and change from there. So an example of this approaching the new year is a lot of people will set like health and wellness goals. Say, I'm not working out and I want my goal for the new year to be incorporating physical activity into my week. So I think a very unrealistic goal would to be like, I'm gonna work out 5 days a week for 30 minutes a day. I feel like that would be a lot if someone's not working out right now. So maybe set a more realistic goal, 10 minutes per day, 4 days per week or 3 days per week, and then accomplish that and then reevaluate your goals from there. So making sure that you're setting a realistic goal for yourself. The second area to focus on when you are setting a goal is to be specific. So instead of a very vague goal, have more measurements. Again, taking our workout example, so if I'm going to start to work out, being really specific about that goal would be things like, when am I going to work out? How is that going to look into my daily routine 3 or 4 days a week? And then number 3, when setting your goal, is what the time frame is. So when are you going to start this goal and when are you going to stop this goal? I feel like a lot of goals that I set personally don't have a time limit to it. It's something that I want to begin at X period of time in my life and then it's going to go on until, indefinitely. I hope that these are realistic things that I want to improve in my life. Let's say it's working out, hopefully someone incorporates that into their weekly routine and then kind of develops it and grows it from there. But what does that time frame look like for you for your goal? When is it going to start? Also, setting that time frame is important too. Otherwise, people put it off like, the diet starts Monday, I'll start tomorrow. It's just this wishy-washy of when to start this into our life. So pick that time and stick to it. The 4th area that I like to set when I think of goals is how to track that goal. So I think that's actually really important when we set goals and we work towards our goals, is being able to track that. So if you can check off that day in a calendar or keep track of it on your phone and then use that to look back on your goals, see what you've accomplished or when you weren't able to accomplish it that week. And then the last thing that I like to think about when setting goals is to reevaluate often. So this is once you've already started your goal and are working towards it. I think it's really important to look back. So that kind of goes back to number 4 into that tracking. So looking back, seeing, are you accomplishing your goals? What are you really successful in? How is this going really well for you in your life? And keep those habits up. Also reevaluating and looking back and seeing what's not working. Maybe one week you didn't meet your goal. What happened that week? How can you adjust? How can you get back on track? Maybe it's too much. Maybe that's not a good goal anymore. Reevaluate that. Kind of look back on that. Do I need to adjust my goal? Do I need to set a new goal? Maybe that's not as realistic as I thought. Oftentimes people will set this goal and they fail one week or they, don't do well one day and then they throw their hands up and say, I'm done. I'm not, I didn't accomplish my goal, and they beat themselves up over it mentally. And that's not what we want to do. We want to look back on that as a learning opportunity. What went wrong? What happened? Why didn't I accomplish my goal? And reframe that in our mind. Okay, I didn't do well yesterday because this is what happened. How can I change that today? Today is going to be better. I know I'm stronger than that, and I'm going to achieve this today because I have this in place and this in place, and kind of figure out and tweak as you go along the way in your goal setting process. It's never an all or nothing approach with goals. It's little steps at a time, reevaluating, adjusting as life goes on. Reevaluate often, adjust as needed, reset your goals. Let's say we did accomplish our goal. Let's say our goal was 10 minutes a day, exercising 3 to 4 times a week, and we're doing great at that. Reevaluate, that's wonderful. How can we improve? How can we adjust? And set a further goal from there rather than coming up with these unrealistic goals right to begin with. So let me know what your goals are for this New Year's, or if you're watching this anytime in the year, what are your goals? What are you working on? What are your hopes and dreams? What are you working to accomplish? I think goals are super important in us having our best life possible. I just set a New Year's resolution for myself. I often like to do that just as the new beginning start in the new year. It's just kind of fun. I actually cracked open my Bible for the first time this morning in many years. I am kind of embarrassed to say that. And so I did a little Bible study this morning, and it felt really good. And I realized that my spiritual life has been lacking. I'm going to be realistic here. So I set a goal of going to church once a month, and then I want to do some sort of devotion, Bible study. I have this anxiety workbook that I'm working through right now, and then I found this little daily devotional on Amazon that I've been looking at for a few months. Did purchase that to start as well. I set a goal of a devotional 3 days per week, and again, I hope that would be more, but I think 3 days a week is something realistic that I can accomplish now, and then move forward from there. Once I'm achieving that, then I can adjust and I can add a few more days in, going to church more often. And then with the New Year's too, my plan is always to continue those other lifestyle habits that I've maintained over the last years. I've set many goals, and I feel like I'm pretty good at sticking with those things that I have accomplished, such as my workout routines and my healthy eating, my weight management. I really have no goals on those fronts other than to continue what I have. And I think that's also important with the goals is once you develop that habit, it just continues in your life. Even when your motivation is lacking, that habit is still there, that routine is still there. So I hope you found something helpful in this video, again with the New Year's coming up and people setting so many goals and things to focus on. So I really appreciate you watching. Drop a comment below. I would love to hear from you, and we'll see you on the next one.